You know, when you think about mining crypto, what comes to mind? Probably some massive warehouse full of expensive, noisy computers, right? Well, today we're going to talk about something completely different. It's called Midnight Scavenger Mine, and it's this really interesting new idea that could totally flip the script on how crypto tokens get into people's hands, using nothing more than your web browser. Let's dive in.
Yeah, this question really cuts to the chase. For so long, crypto mining has felt like this exclusive club. You needed pricey hardware, you needed technical know-how, but what if all of that changed? What if the only tool you actually needed was the computer you're using to watch this right now? So, what is the scavenger mine, really? Well, think of it as a special limited time event. The whole point is to get these things called night governance tokens out to the community in a way that's fair for everyone. And the craziest part? You do it all from a regular web browser. The entire idea is built from the ground up to be super accessible.
Okay, so mining from your browser. How on earth does that actually work? Let's get into the mechanics of this new approach because it's definitely turning some heads.
And this is where you really see the difference. On one hand, you've got traditional mining. It's expensive, it burns a ton of electricity, and you kind of have to be a tech wizard. But then you have the scavenger mine, which just completely flips that around. It uses your browser, it's really light on your computer's resources, and you can start with just one click. It's basically tearing down all the old barriers to entry.
All right, so you're probably thinking, this sounds pretty cool. How do I actually do it? Well, the good news is the whole process is designed to be incredibly simple. Let's just walk through it step by step.
It's honestly ridiculously easy. First, you head over to the official website. Then you connect a verified Cardano wallet. You'll sign a quick message, which is just a secure way of proving you own the wallet. And then you just click one button. That's it. You hit start mining and you're officially in. So what's actually going on when you click that button? Well, your browser starts working on these tiny cryptographic puzzles in the background. It's not a heavy lift at all. It just uses a little bit of your computer's spare power. And for every puzzle it solves, you're earning a slice of the daily token rewards.
Now, there are just a couple of simple things to keep in mind. First, you're going to need a desktop or a laptop. This whole event isn't available on smartphones, and that's mainly to keep the playing field level. And of course, you'll need that verified Cardano wallet, both to get started and, to actually get your tokens.
Okay, let's talk about the fun part, the rewards. How does this whole token drop work, and what can you actually expect to get for participating?
And we are not talking small numbers here. The scale of this is pretty wild. During the event, almost 30 million night tokens are up for grabs every single day. That massive pool of tokens is shared among everyone who's actively mining.
So how is that giant 30 million token pie split up? It's all proportional. Basically, your share of the rewards depends on how much work your browser does compared to everyone else. The more puzzles you solve, the bigger your slice of that daily pool becomes. It's that simple.
And here is a really cool, really fair feature of the whole system. Let's say some tokens from yesterday don't get claimed for whatever reason. They don't just disappear. Nope, they get rolled right over into the next day's pool. This actually makes the pot bigger for everyone who's actively participating.
Okay, so when is all this happening? Go ahead and mark your calendars. This is a special 21-day event. It all kicks off on October 29th, 2025, and it runs all the way through November 19th. That's 3 solid weeks with a fresh batch of rewards available every single day.
But this whole event isn't just about grabbing some tokens. When you dig a little deeper, you see there's actually a much bigger mission happening here.
And this quote, it just nails the entire vibe of the project. This isn't just a giveaway. They're framing it as a real experiment. They're trying to answer a huge question. Can you launch a new network in a way that's truly fair and accessible for everybody, right from day one?
So why is this such a big deal? Well, for starters, by making it so easy to join, you're inviting in a ton of people who might have felt crypto was too complicated before. That helps build a really diverse, engaged community from the very beginning.
And all that engagement helps the network grow and stay secure, which is the foundation you need for the kind of privacy-focused apps that Midnight wants to build.
Okay, I need everyone to listen up for a second, because this part is super important. Whenever there's excitement around a project like this, scammers pop up. So please, be careful. The team behind this is making it very clear. Only use the official websites. That's midnight.gd or the direct link sm.midnight.gd. If you see it anywhere else, just assume it's a scam.
So as we start to wrap this up, what's the big picture takeaway here? What could this whole thing mean for the future of a more decentralized internet?
At the end of the day, the Scavenger Mine is trying to be more than just a one-off event. It's really testing out a new playbook, a potential blueprint for how Web3 projects could be launched in the future. More open, more democratic, and driven by the community right from the start.
And that leaves us with one last, really big question. We've seen how this model throws out the old rules about needing expensive hardware and deep technical knowledge. So, could this super simple, one-click way of doing things actually become the new gold standard for how decentralized networks are born? That's definitely something worth thinking about.